Hey beautiful people, it's Sejal. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. In today's video, we're going to deep dive into the challenges that we face whilst traveling long periods of time with autoimmune diseases. As some of you may know, or if you're new to my channel, I actually suffer from a condition called rheumatoid arthritis, and it affects like every joint in your body. And it becomes really inflamed, and it can become really painful. So in this video, I am going to talk about traveling long periods of time with medication. So with people that have autoimmune diseases, we have to take medication. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to share my experiences with you. I'll also be talking about how to get medication abroad, how do you keep on top of your blood tests, carrying your medication and your documentation, and also I'll be sharing some hints and tips with you. I've made it easy for you, so if you're interested in a particular section in this video, just check out the timeline below and click on the section that you're interested in. So unfortunately, when you're traveling, you may face some challenges before and during your travels. Now, touch wood, that doesn't actually happen to you guys, and that's why I'm here to help. I want to share some of those challenges and experiences that I had before I went traveling for 15 months with my husband. Some of the challenges that you may face is you don't have enough medication to take abroad with you for the amount of time that you're going to be traveling. Or how do you source medication from abroad and ensuring that the medication you're getting is actually legit from a licensed pharmacist? How do you get blood tests done abroad every 3 months or every 6 months, depending on how often you need to get blood tests done from a reputable hospital, depending on which country you're actually in? Or worst case, and I really hope this doesn't happen, but what happens if you lose your bags and your medication is in those bags? I wanted to share my experiences with you on those challenges because there was nothing out there at the time that talked about having rheumatoid arthritis and what to do if you're going to be traveling for a long period of time. How could I actually source medication abroad? How could I get blood tests done abroad? There was nothing out there for me, and so I thought I would share my story with you so that I can help you if you are looking to go traveling for a long period of time. Then at least you've got some knowledge, and hopefully I can help you prepare and be better prepared for when you do go traveling. We went to go see my nurse before we went traveling, and it was to actually get 12 months worth of medication. She just looked at me dead in the face and she just said, "No, I can't give you medication for 12 months. And I remember thinking, what do you mean I can't get medication for 12 months? And so she said to me, the only amount of medication I can give you is 3 months worth. And I thought to myself, oh my God, what am I gonna do for the rest of the months that I'm going to be traveling? I'm not going to have the medication. The first thing that we did was actually get onto the computers and just start researching what can we do. And the only thing that came to mind was trying to source medication from abroad. And we Googled the countries that we were going to be visiting. I thought, okay, we've got 3 months worth, so maybe we can get some a little bit further down the line. We thought, okay, I think we've Googled enough. I think we kind of know what pharmacies we need to go visit. So we'll just continue to keep visiting pharmacies in the countries that we're going to be visiting from day one, and hope for the best. Maybe we'll come across a pharmacy that will give us at least another 3 months worth of medication. A week into it, we started visiting as many pharmacies as we came across, and we'd be looking at different brands. And I was lucky enough that I did have my nurse's email. We were in this one pharmacy and they said that they can actually prescribe us 9 months worth of methotrexate. And I thought, oh my God, this is gonna be amazing if this can happen. So I took a picture of the box and I sent the image to my nurse, and she responded pretty much straight away and said, listen, if it's a licensed pharmacy, then they will be selling legitimate medication. And so we asked for 9 months worth of methotrexate, which they happily gave us, and they gave us 9 months worth of hydroxychloroquine and folic acid. I was like, did we just strike gold? I thought, oh my God, we've just got 9 months worth of medication. Oh my God, this is amazing. So I feel really, really lucky. I think we got really lucky that we came across a pharmacy in the first week and we were able to get that amount of medication. Now, again, I don't know, depending on what country you go to, I'm not sure if it'll be the same. I was freshly diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis at the time, so I was actually getting blood tests done. Oh, I do not like blood tests, by the way. I was getting blood tests done every month so they could monitor to see if my medication was actually working. And my nurse and my doctor actually said to me that when you do go traveling, you don't need to get blood tests done every month, but you do need to get them done every 3 months. Now, I know you guys can relate to this, getting blood tests done every 3 months, every 6 months. It's such a pain. I feel like it's a chore. And the more I get blood tests done, I feel like the worse it gets. Like, now I'm just anticipating a needle going in and then just sucking the blood out. Me and my husband actually started researching different hospitals in the countries that we were going to be visiting, and we were trying to find the most reputable hospitals in those countries, ones that did do blood tests, try to find out how much it would have cost to get blood tests done. Where possible, I think we emailed some of these hospitals, and then we looked at expat forums. So in these forums that we were looking at, there were expats that recommended certain hospitals in those different countries that we were going to, which was great because then we knew that those hospitals were reputable. And we wrote a whole list of them down. We had a rough schedule of where we were actually going to be traveling, so we knew which country we were going to be in every 3 months that I needed my blood test. But we didn't know if our plans were going to change, and if they did, then we had to make sure that we had backups for the other countries that we were going to be going to. We had a look at the list of hospitals that we had for that particular country, and the expats there had recommended a hospital, which was great. And so we went to the hospital, and can I just say, some of the hospitals that I actually visited whilst being abroad were like walking into 5-star hotels. They were so amazing. And the process is you just fill in a few forms before you go in. So all of your details, any of your insurance that you've got, fill all those details in. And then you're waiting to see the doctor. And then I got in to see the doctor, and I remember handing over my documents that I brought with me from the UK, ones that said that, you know, I'd been diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, ones that said this is the medication that she was on. I even took one of the forms that I had in the UK for blood tests to show which things that I needed to be tested. It was pretty simple from there. They gave me a sheet and they said, wait to go get your blood test done. I waited, I don't think it was even that long. And then I got my blood test done, and they said that we'll email you your results. And I remember getting the results the next day. It was that quick. And I thought, wow, that whole process was really, really easy. As soon as my results came through, I emailed those on to my nurse, and that was that. Remember earlier when I said what happens if you lose your luggage? Well, we lost our luggage 10 months into the trip, and I can laugh about it now, I can joke about it now, but at the time I think I was so angry at myself. I absolutely hated the fact that I didn't keep any spare medication in my backpack, because we did lose our luggage. And I remember when we stepped off the plane, we were so excited to be in a new country at the time. I remember feeling like super anxious. I remember feeling like really upset, really emotional. I remember feeling like angry. There was all sorts of emotions that were going on because not only had our luggage gone missing, all my medication was in that bag. And I just thought, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Getting into the car with my husband, and it was such an awkward journey because I think our emotions were so all over the place at the time. And we got to the campsite, and we got to the reception, and the reception was where the bar was. I mean, how good is that? And the owner came over to us and he said, look, just relax. I completely understand everything that's happened. Just have a drink, put your bags down, we've upgraded you guys, come enjoy the night with us. We were welcomed by these amazingly beautiful people. I remember talking to one of the girls that was there, saying to her that I suffer from rheumatoid arthritis and we've lost our luggage and all my medication was in the bags. And she said to me, look, I've got a friend who's a doctor and maybe I can get an appointment with him for you if I just speak to him. And I didn't want to get my hopes up high, but I was like, yes, please, if you could do that, that would be absolutely amazing. I remember waking up the next day and I had a message from the girl that I'd met at the bar the night before. And she said the doctor, the friend that she has, is happy to see me. And I have an appointment. Both of us literally got up, got ready, jumped in the car and drove to the GP's. And I think we were there like an hour early just in case. And I took all my documentation with me again. I explained what happened. I have rheumatoid arthritis. I gave him the documentation just to show him the medication that I take. And he basically said, okay, I'll prescribe you a month's worth of methotrexate. And I thought, oh my God. Again, I was like, wow, yes, please, that would be amazing. I just wanted to hug the doctor at the time. And so he gave us the prescription. We drove straight to the pharmacy, handed that in, and the minute he handed me that methotrexate, I was just so relieved. It's that feeling of being in the right place at the right time. And it's just such a blessing that we met that girl that night, who is now a lifelong friend. But it's honestly such a blessing that we did meet her, because if we hadn't have met her, we probably would have struggled to try and find out if we could get an appointment with a GP somewhere and get a prescription for methotrexate. I want to share some of the hints and tips from the lessons that I learned from my experience whilst traveling. Where possible, if you are able to, if you have a nurse that you see all the time, or a doctor or a specialist, if you're able to, try get their email address, because if you do go traveling for a long period of time and you do have any questions or you do have any concerns, then it's always good to get in touch with them. So if you are able to, try get an email address. Always, always, always carry your documentation with you. So any letters that you've got of diagnosis, any letters that you've got regarding the medication that you're taking, that's super important. Any documentation regarding any blood tests or blood test results, just take whatever documentation you can with you and carry spares with you as well. Get the documentation, have some in your main backpack and have some in your luggage. That way, if you do get stopped when you're going through an airport because of the medication that you're carrying in your bag, then at least you've got documentation to back you up. Or if you're in a situation where you need to go see a doctor, if you're going to the hospital, you've got documentation with you, and that way you can show the doctors abroad anything relating to your condition. Before you go traveling, one of the things that I think is really important to do is, depending on what countries you go to, try and research the medication that you can get abroad in those countries. Now, every country does a slightly different variation of certain medications. So for people with rheumatoid arthritis, methotrexate can come in different forms and different brands, brands that we may have never heard of. But just check in those countries, do the research beforehand, and make sure you know what type of tablets to look out for and where can you get those from, what type of pharmacies are licensed pharmacies. So just double check all of those details before you go traveling. Do the research, get it down in a documentation, so whether you carry it around with you or if you can have an Excel document on your phone, great. You can just flick to the country and you can look at the different pharmacies or the different brands of medication. At least you've done your research beforehand and you don't have that struggle whilst you're abroad. If you do need to get blood tests done every 3 to 6 months whilst you're traveling, the best thing to do is research reputable hospitals in the countries you're going to be traveling to. My recommendation is to actually get reputable hospitals in all of the countries that you go to. That way you don't need to worry about if your schedule changes, because that can happen. At least you've got a list of those hospitals. It's always good to look at expat forums and have a read through there. They'll always talk about the hospitals that they go to, which means there'll be hospitals that speak good English. If you do have any questions about prices for getting blood tests done, then try and email the hospitals. They're generally really good at getting back to you. Also, check out the transport to get there. You want to be going to a hospital that's really easy to get to. My next tip, literally, I think I'm going to call it don't do the schedule, because if you do the schedule, you're going to lose all your medication. Remember to separate your medication. It's so important to separate it. You want to keep some in your main luggage and you want to be keeping some in your backpack. That way, if worst case scenario, and touch wood, it doesn't happen to you, but if you do lose any of your luggage, at least you've got backup medication in your other bag. So separate your medication. Honestly, it's the best advice I can give you. I wish I did it, but I ended up in a sticky situation. One of the things that you have to be mentally prepared for is cutting your trip short. If anything happens to you abroad, or if your health is at risk, you need to know that you have to cut your trip short. You can always carry your trip on further down the line. You've always got that opportunity, but in that moment in time, you need to get yourself back home and you need to get yourself the right support. Your health always comes first. You must always put yourself first. So remember, if anything does happen, you have to be mentally prepared to cut that trip short. And lastly, travel insurance. It's really important to make sure that you do get your travel insurance before you go traveling to cover those activities that you're going to be doing or any of the extreme sports you're going to be doing. But you need to ensure that the travel insurance that you do get covers any pre-existing conditions. Now, a lot of the travel insurance that we looked at didn't cover pre-existing conditions. And so we had to keep researching until we came across, I think it was a specialist that did cover pre-existing conditions. Have a look and question all the different travel insurances that you do go through to get quotes. You don't want anything to happen to you abroad regarding your condition and then you're not covered for it. If you have any questions about anything that you've seen in the video today, or you want to know more about my experience, then please post your questions in the comments below, or get in touch with me personally. I would love to hear from you guys. I'm no medical expert, I'm no doctor, I'm no nurse, so I can't give you that medical advice, but I can share with you the lessons that I learnt whilst traveling, and I can share my experiences with you. So if you are going to be going on a long trip around the world and you need some advice on things that I've spoken about in today's video, then get in touch with me personally. I would love to help you. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked this video and you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Please give me a thumbs up, or better yet, hit that bell notification. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Mwah.